You know Nintendo as the company that makes Mario, Zelda, and Pokémon. You probably think of it as a modern technology company. Nintendo was founded in 1889. The same year the Eiffel Tower opened to the public. Before aeroplanes, before television, before computers existed. In Kyoto, Japan, a craftsman named Fusajiro Yamachi opened a small workshop. He made playing cards by hand. Not the kind you're used to, traditional Japanese flower cards, called hanafuda. The word means flower cards. A full deck had 48 cards, divided into 12 suits, one for each month of the year. No numbers on any of them, just small painted images. Cherry blossoms, maple leaves, pines. Each card was laminated from layers of bark paper and painted by hand. Yamachi started by making every card himself, then trained apprentices as demand grew. His main customers were gambling establishments, and they were demanding buyers. A warped or poorly made card could compromise the game. Quality wasn't optional, it was the foundation of the whole business. The company's registered name was Nintendo Popeye. The meaning of the word Nintendo has been debated ever since. The most accepted translation is "leave luck to heaven." It has a fatalistic ring, and for a company that would keep reinventing itself, it fits. But Nintendo's early history came with a complication most people don't know about. Hanafuda was deeply tied to gambling, which moved between legal and illegal in Japan. Nintendo's cards reached gambling venues through networks connected to organized crime. Japan's crime syndicates, the Yakuza, controlled most gambling establishments in the region. This was just how the hanafuda trade worked. Every card maker used the same channels. Nintendo's position was clear. They made the cards, and what happened after wasn't their concern. If the Yakuza distribution network surprised you, hit like. There's a lot more to Nintendo's history that most people never hear. Subscribe and we'll keep going. Now about those 90 years without a single video game. Nintendo spent its first 90 years without a single video game, console, or screen. For most of its existence, it was something else entirely. It was also a family business. Leadership passed from generation to generation. In 1949, the Yamachi family's elder had a stroke and needed to hand over the business. His grandson, Hiroshi Yamachi, was 22 years old and still at university. He was summoned back to Kyoto and handed the company. He agreed on one condition: he alone would have authority over the company. Within months, he fired all the senior managers who had served the family for decades. Hiroshi Yamachi would run Nintendo for 53 years. The Game Boy, the Nintendo Entertainment System, Mario, Zelda, all of it happened under his watch. But before any of that, he had to figure out what Nintendo was meant to be. The playing card market was shrinking, and new leisure activities were pulling people away. Yamachi began looking for new businesses to move Nintendo into. In 1960, Nintendo tried selling instant rice. It failed and was dropped. Nintendo then invested in a taxi company serving the Kyoto area. That failed too. At some point in the 1960s, money went into short-stay hotels. It was tried, it failed, and it was quietly dropped. Understandably, none of this appears in official Nintendo history. By 1962, the combination of falling card revenue and failed experiments had pushed Nintendo to the edge. The company had accumulated debt and was surviving on bank credit. Yamachi had urgent meetings with his bank, arguing that the new toy business was a real opportunity. The bank agreed to extend the credit line. Had they said no, Nintendo would have been liquidated that year, decades before Mario was created. What saved Nintendo was a toy idea invented by a maintenance worker. Gunpei Yokoi was an engineer on Nintendo's assembly line in Kyoto in 1965. During a slow period at work, he built an extending arm mechanism for his own amusement. A foldable arm with a claw at the end that you could extend to grab things at a distance. Hiroshi Yamachi happened to notice it and asked Yokoi to develop it for the Christmas market. The result was the Ultra Hand. It sold over 1.2 million units in Japan in 1966. A maintenance engineer's spare time curiosity had become Nintendo's most successful product. Yokoi went on to design the Game Boy and invent the cross-shaped controller button used for movement. That button is now standard on every game controller in the world. His design principle was simple: don't chase the latest, most expensive technology. Use cheap, proven components and find a new way to make them interesting. In 1977, Hiroshi Yamauchi hired a young designer named Shigeru Miyamoto. By 1981, Miyamoto was building Nintendo's first major arcade game. Nintendo had tried to license the Popeye characters for the game. The plan was to build the game around Popeye, Bluto, and Olive Oyl. Miyamoto designed the game around them. Bluto chases Olive Oyl up a construction site. Popeye climbs up to rescue her, dodging barrels thrown from above. Then the license fell through. Rather than start over, Miyamoto replaced every character with an original. Bluto became a giant gorilla, Donkey Kong, a rough translation of stubborn ape. Olive Oyl became a character named Pauline. And Popeye became a nameless carpenter called Jumpman. Donkey Kong was released in 1981 and became one of the most important arcade games ever made. The actual Popeye version was eventually made in 1982. It's nearly forgotten today. Jumpman was renamed Mario, made into a plumber, and became the most recognized game character in history. He exists because a licensing deal fell through. In 1983, 2 years after Donkey Kong, the North American video game market collapsed. Sales fell from $3.2 billion in 1982 to around $100 million by 1985. Retailers cleared their shelves. The term video game had become toxic. The industry had effectively declared itself dead. Nintendo launched its home console in North America in 1985. They called it the Nintendo Entertainment System, not a video game console. They packaged it with a small robot toy, so it would look like a toy, not a console. And every licensed game had to carry the official Nintendo seal of quality. If a game didn't meet Nintendo's standards, it couldn't be sold on the system. The cheap, low-quality games that had flooded the previous market were locked out. By 1988, the US video game market had recovered to $2.3 billion, almost entirely because of the Nintendo Entertainment System. Nintendo's hardware approach has followed the same pattern ever since. The Game Boy launched in 1989, with worse display quality than its main competitors. Two rival handhelds, the Sega Game Gear and Atari Lynx, were both sharper and more powerful. The Game Boy dominated the handheld market for 12 years. The Wii in 2006 used motion controls, while Sony and Microsoft competed on graphics. Critics said Nintendo was losing the hardware race. The Wii sold 101 million units. The Nintendo Switch launched in 2017. A small tablet with detachable controllers that also connects to your television. Technically less powerful than what Sony and Microsoft were selling at the same time. 141 million units sold by 2024. Nintendo's best-selling console of all time. Nintendo hasn't survived 135 years by staying the same. It has survived by knowing the one thing it would never change. Cards, toys, consoles, different mediums, the same mission. What do people want when they have time to play? That question was first asked in a Kyoto workshop in 1889. It's still being answered. See you in the next one.